So.
Yeah, I have a tooth in the back here that's got a flat tire. It's kind of it's very weird to describe, but like in the back.
Well, you did flat tire. I mean, I don't even know what that means.
So in the back, there's like a cavity or something that's kind of opened, and it's shit will get not poop, but like food will get stuck in there, and I don't want to have it fixed because it doesn't hurt, and it's not breaking away.
But it will.
Yeah, and then I'm just gonna have them take it out because it's back here. It's not one of my, it's not one of my show teeth.
You might need that tooth later on in life.
That's what I would suggest is that you go get it fixed because that one goes and you say, all right, no big deal. Then the next one beside it goes, and before you know it, you're like me, half your teeth on one side's gone and you can't even chew on that side anymore.
Well, a couple years ago, I think we talked about it. I chipped a tooth on a piece of gum that had a hard shell. Oh, I was pissed. I was like, why wasn't it a damn Skittle? Like, why wasn't it something that even tastes good? It was just to get fresh breath. And so
it didn't work either, did it?
I don't know. Ask the dentist. But so I had to go get that fixed. And she was like, we could do a couple things. We could either pull it. And I was like, okay. Or we could put some cement in there. And I was like, no, I'm not gay. She said, no, like concrete. I said, oh, sure. And then she said, or we could do something else. And I'm like, why don't we just do the one that costs the less and I can't feel? She was like, well, cost is going to be just pulling her out. And I was like, what about one I can't feel? She's like, well, that'd be putting some cement in there. And I was like, okay. And so she did that.
Just spackle it up a little bit.
Yeah. And
that's the easy part. The hard part is getting that trowel in your mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wider. I'm like, I can't. And so they shot me up with some drugs. And she was like just tapping around with her little hammer. She was like, can you feel that? And I was like, yes.
Yes, I can.
And then she shot me again and she started tapping around and said, can you feel that? I said, yes. She was like, really? I was like, yeah. She was like, that's 4 doses. I was like, well, I don't know if you've seen me other than me walking in here, but I'm a lot bigger than most people. And she was like, all right, we'll give you one more. So she gave me one more. And then it hit me and I started sweating. And I was like, hey, because I was doing my fasting, so I hadn't eaten. Lucky for her.
You OD'd on Novocaine?
I didn't.
Nah.
There was something going on with my body. It was like, whoa, you hit the limit and now you're past it. I started sweating. I was like, hey, because I had a hoodie on like this. I was like, hey, you mind if I stand up real quick and pop my top off? And she was like, are you going to be sick? I was like, we're going to find out together.
We'll know shortly.
If I am, hold on.
Yeah. And so I started taking and then I took like all my shirt, because I wear 3 shirts. I wear an undershirt, regular shirt, and then a hoodie. And so I just kind of pulled them all. And she was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I was like, ha, I'm joking. So I just took the hoodie off. Then I felt fine. She did her thing, and I was good to go. $400 later.
Yeah.
Start sweating again.
I was like, ma'am, I have concrete in buckets at the house. Like
I got some damn concrete at the house.
I could have brought this shit with me. You didn't have to do all this. But anyway, so I got that fixed. But now I got this one that's got like a, crater in the back.
Crevice.
Yeah. And I'll be chewing. And then for some reason, most nights during the night, I'll, because I move a lot during the night. I roll over one side. Because if I don't, I'm going to cut the circulation off to most of my body. So I have to keep moving. And so I'll roll. And when I roll, I'll just, it's like subconscious. I won't even mean to be doing it, but I'll hit like some suction back here. And this is going to be gross to a lot of people, but fat people are going to know what you guys aren't going to understand. But fat people will get it. I hit a little suction. I'll be like, and then whatever I ate will
pop up.
It's
leftovers. Leftovers.
You just like chewing your cud.
I call it second bite.
Cud. That's exactly what it is.
Thing.
Yeah.
And so, kind of enjoying it right now. Hopefully it doesn't get no
worse. A little
worse.
midnight snack. I mean,
yeah. So it's been a challenge. And then I got some pain going on in my. Here's what happened. I'm getting old. And
he don't know the half of it.
No, you ain't got a clue.
I keep telling people that I have psoriatic arthritis, and they're like, "You can't just make shit up." And I'm like, "Well, here I'm not. Here's why."
I heard it on TV. Some medicine. They give me some medicine.
Here's a problem with that. Is there's two different all the time. There's commercials running for this medicine or this medicine.
Yes.
Ozempic is for diabetes, but they're like, "Hey, if you're fat, you'll lose weight."
Fatty.
I'm like, well, maybe, but there's two other commercial sets, and they're so similar. I'm trying to phrase this the right way because I don't want to offend nobody. There's two commercials. One of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
When did this start?
We got a new format. Me and Earl don't know nothing about it.
No.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We're going to have to rethink this whole thing if we're not going to offend anybody.
There's commercials for psoriatic arthritis, and then there's commercials for AIDS.
Rheumatoid. Oh.
No. And that's different. But AIDS. And I'm like.
That's different.
I keep trying to like make a mental note of like, okay, I could ask the doctor about this because it's for, but I don't want to go in and ask the dermatologist, hey, what about this? And he's like, that's for AIDS. I'm like, sorry, I got confused on the commercials. Because you'll see all kind of people like partying and going to doing dancing
with their boyfriends.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is that for like joint pain or? And then they're like, get tested early. I'm like, I don't know if you can test early for joint. And then I'm like, oh no, that's AIDS.
Yeah, that's AIDS.
So then I'll hear another one, and it'll be some guy running around in the park with his dog and throws a frisbee and hits a lady, and she's like, "Oh, I got a dog. You got a dog? Do your joints hurt? Damn, mine do too." And I'm like,
"Let's hook up."
Yeah. And then so anyway, I have the psoriasis for sure because my skin's flaking away. Apparently, what that means is your body's making too many new cells. So
it's trying to keep up.
I think that's the Lord saying, hey, quit eating. You're getting too much surface area and you got to calm down. But apparently they go hand in hand. So you can have psoriasis where your skin like flakes, which mine has done, or you can have psoriatic arthritis. And I think that's what I have because my calf's been hurting. It's either that or a blood clot.
Well, let's just go with arthritis.
Well, let me ask you something about.
And I'm banking on arthritis.
Since you're talking about this stuff on TV, all this
Yeah.
stuff. I seen one in it. In listen, I'm like you. They try to trick you.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about something you don't even know what it is till they almost done.
Yeah.
Okay. You see that woman on there's got the bug eyes. What they call it, the bug eye disease, instead of the wet fly-majama or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Talking about wet something. Well, and then they look at it and she said she starts talking about and she got the bug eyes. Well, and her bug eyes
fool is what Esther would say.
Yeah, that's what they need to say. Have you got the bug eye disease? And then show a bunch of people with big old eyes like that right there. Mm-hmm. And I know some people got bug eye disease. I know they got it. Just say that.
It's like that lady they keep showing online from Chick-fil-A where she's like, you don't want any Chick-fil-A sauce?
Yeah.
With the huge eyes. And I'm like,
she's got the bug eye disease.
Yeah.
I don't want it.
Right.
And they advertise these drugs for these diseases that somebody just had to sit around in a think tank and make this stuff up.
Yeah.
They got one that's out there now. It's CPID. And for just a brief second down at the bottom, but in so fine print you can't hardly, it tells what those are for. Well, they don't stay up long enough because it's chronic pulmonary, whatever how you say it. And then the other two words are so long, I can't make them out before it goes away.
Yeah.
But this drug is going to cure your CPID. Well, I ain't never heard of no CPID.
Yeah.
And there's two or three out there for diseases or illnesses or whatever that I ain't never heard of.
Well, they're making up new ones. And they're also, here's the problem with a lot of drugs, is the side effects that they say you can get are much worse than whatever you got.
Whatever the drug, that's right.
See, I'm pretty good at finishing what I start,
Sure.
getting things done.
Yeah.
So when one of the side effects is suicidal thoughts, well, see, that's a big red flag for me because if I'm thinking about it, I can probably accomplish it.
I can do it. I can do it.
And that's kind of a one-way trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So having suicidal thoughts is not something I want to dang challenge.
A lot of the
And who named all this medicine too?
Again, the same people's in the think tank. They got to think up the disease and then think up the medicine.
Yeah.
And say, hey, we can cure ZPRD with oflitazide.
Yeah.
That's right.
So now we got disease. Now we got a drug. We're making a killing.
There's one commercial out there that I do like though, and I don't know. See,
It's
say
a food commercial.
I like. Well, it's for Wendy's new.
He loves them.
Yeah.
There's
He
one
records them.
Yeah, I don't fast forward to foods.
Watch them back late at night.
What am I getting tomorrow? There's one that is, I don't know what it's for. It's one of those two. It's either some kind of arthritis or AIDS or HIV. Who the fuck knows the difference? It's all the same.
Wait a minute, there is a difference between HIV and AIDS.
I think HIV is like getting a steak medium, and AIDS is like well done. You here now, you can't go no further. I mean, you can. You never coming back. You can only cook it anyway. So there's one that
Notice how you use food as the metaphor for
I think
almost everything.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's Sky Rizzy, which is okay. So you've seen it.
Yeah.
That is the only commercial that I've ever remember in the last 48 hours that actually says what is like name brand drug name.
Pfizer or
like
Seneca or
so that's where we are now. They make cigarettes, not drugs.
that's right.
So they say Sky Rizzy. But then they also call it because that's the name brand. But then they also call it like the full name.
It's 42 characters long and got some Y's and Z's and X's.
And the reason I like it is because when they say it, it sounds like appealing to the ear. So I'm like, I might try that one.
Yeah.
Don't even know what it's for.
Yeah, I'm going to ask my doctor if he'll get me some of that.
But they're like, Sky
First of all, because
Rizzy.
I can say it.
Well, you could say that. You could say Sky Rizzy. They make that easy to say. But the real name is Rizza Kizza as Lizabam. But they say it, and nobody else does that.
And
they just give you the
and it's got a little rhythm to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I know
And
it's
got a little beat to it.
Yeah.
You
And I'm
dance
like-
to it.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn. When they say it, they're like Sky Rizzy, Rizza Kizza as Lizabam, and I'm like, I don't know what that's for,
That
but
sounds cool. I won't take that.
If I learn how to say that,
Man.
I'm going to ask my doctor for some of it. I know I am.
yeah, I would like the generic brand.
Be
please.
careful if he says, now, one of the side effects is suicidal thoughts.
Yeah.
Be wary. Be
Well,
very, very wary.
Here's the deal: the doctor's not going to tell you the side effects. The commercial is. They're going to tell you real fast, like you said. The side effects are fast heart rate, excessive sweating, irritable bowel syndrome, suicidal thoughts, and increased appetite. I'm like, check. I ain't got to
must
worry about
already
this.
took this.
I already got them. You know what I'm saying? Go on, give it to
I
me.
got all of these except bug-eye disease. I
Yeah.
can deal with that.
Yeah, go on, give them to me. Let me try it out. But I also wonder about when they do what do they call them? Test studies? What are they called? When they
Clinical trials.
Clinical
Yes.
trial. There
Yeah.
you go.
When they do those,
On 3 people.
do they tell them like, hey, if you feel if you have an upset stomach, you need to let us know. I'm like, bitch, I got an upset stomach every day. How the hell am I going to know it? This caused it. They're like, if you sweat a lot, you need to let us know. I'm like, again, I woke up sweating. If you have a fast heartbeat, let us know. I'm like, my heart's doing all it
breathing.
can.
After 3 steps, she's racing.
If my heart ain't beating fast, I have a bigger problem. You know, have you ever thought about harming yourself? I'm like, not really, you know.
Not today.
But I had a dream about it one time, you know. They're like, well, you need to tell us. I'm like, okay. And then what was the other one I said?
I don't remember. now.
Whatever. Like, man,
Increased appetite.
yeah.
So, I mean,
I've been,
how's that going
Look
to work?
at me. How am I going to know if I have increased appetite?
I've been hungry since I went to sleep right after I ate last night. Like, well, you need to tell us. I'm like, okay.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and tell you now.
Go ahead, check them all off, because here I am. They're like, no, after you take it. I'm like, ma'am, it's going to be the same whether I take it or not. Like, you could give me a whole list of shit. And then one was like, One was definitely for AIDS because it was a dude. It was a guy in a like office building, and a random he's sitting in a cubicle, and a random golden retriever just runs up to his desk. And he starts petting it, and then some other dude comes in, and they hug, and they're both petting the dog, and I'm like,
HIV?
Oh, this was AIDS.
Yeah.
But I'm like, throwing Frisbee in the park, cool. Salsa dancing at night with your two-lady, partnership, okay. Who in the hell let this damn golden retriever in this office building?
Well, I'm trying to work.
Yeah.
Thought you had to have a badge to get in this building.
Yeah. Who took his picture and said, oh, sweet little lion's here? And I'm like, you can't. Who brought him? I guess his partner. But anyway, I'm not on no drugs. They gave me some creams.
We don't want to go there. We don't want to go there.
They told me he was like, because most of the issue I have is on my face. You could see it. People watching, they can see it.
I've had issues with my face too.
And he was like, here's a steroid cream, and you want to apply it, 4 to 5 times a day.
Now, hold up. I thought steroids were bad because I heard all about baseball, steroids, Barry Bonds, all them. What's that Neil Armstrong fella ride the bicycle?
Neil Armstrong.
Neil Armstrong does ride a bicycle, and he did steroids, and they had to cut
He from Greenville?
No.
Oh.
Lance Armstrong, who you think about?
Yeah.
Oh,
Neil went to the moon.
Yeah. He rode his bicycle to the moon. Lance just rides around France a lot.
Yeah. Him and E.T.
But I thought, them steroids bad, they said.
They are bad.
Well, that's why he can't be a professional athlete now that he's using that cream. See, he's banned from the Olympics, and I was all geared up to go.
Yeah, they're not going to let me in France no more. They're like, you have steroids in your bag. I'm like, this is cream for my face. And they're like, you can put it anywhere, buddy. I'm
Whatever.
Like, well, I could.
Call it whatever you want to.
But yeah, Neil Armstrong rode his bike and did steroids, and they had to cut one of his nuts out.
Yeah, that's what it was.
So
He had that nutler cancer, didn't he?
Is that what he had? I thought he got it from steroids.
Oh, I thought he had that nutler cancer.
I'm not going to make fun of cancer.
First I heard any of him.
I'll make fun of steroids.
And I don't think he cut one. I think they took both of them.
Well, he might.
That's basically what's called neutered, ain't it?
Yeah.
He might need some rizacizumab blizabam.
He needs a damn bunch of it.
Yeah.
But what was it? Oh yeah, so they gave me the cream.
I bet it made it easy to ride that bicycle though.
I bet it more comfortable probably.
Yeah. And plus, if you
Be careful now. Be careful.
Earl know, but when we was little, we rode our bicycle. Sometimes you missed a step.
Oh,
Yeah.
And you know what happened then? Plow down on the.
That little bitty seat is only about that wide.
Yeah. And then if you fell off, you'd go in the nut bar.
yeah. And he don't have to worry about that no more.
No, yeah. You still have to worry about it. It don't hurt near as bad.
He could ride in the female Olympic. Okay, I don't know. Anyway, so I'm putting this cream on every day, and he's like, do it 4 to 5 times a day. I'm like, damn, I got to schedule my whole damn day around this shit. He's like, but don't do it for more than a week. I'm like, why not? He's like, well, it's steroid. I was like, am I going to be able to lift more weight or like jump higher or something?
Is your voice going to get lower? Or?
He said, yeah. He said, no. It's going to make your skin real thin. I was like,
I thought that's what this was supposed to be fixing.
yeah. I'm like, well, I'm not.
You wasn't thin skin to start with?
No, I got pretty thick skin. I think it'd take a lot to cut through me.
You take anything. I got you.
Pretty much, yeah.
You're not thin skinned.
But I'm not. I told him I'm not a hemophiliac, and he said, I don't care.
I guarantee you're not.
Don't
'Cause
care
you
what your
married
sexual
anyway.
preference is.
That's what he said, and I said, whoa. I said, no. I said, I don't bleed easily, and I don't bruise easily. He said, yeah, again, sir, I don't care what your sexual preference. I said, you're a damn doctor. How the hell do I know this, and you don't? And I was just trying to throw that out there to be funny and let him know, hey, I knew some terminology.
I knew some stuff you didn't.
I diagnosed my own shit. He came in and he was like, hey, what's going on? I was like, nothing much. How you doing? And he was like, no, I meant what are we here to look at today? I said, well, I don't know. because I'm not a doctor. Also didn't stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. Pretty sure I got some psoriasis going on.
And I came here to find out.
So he starts.
Got anybody can tell me?
Yeah, he starts looking around at me, and he's like, "Yeah, okay, all right." I can hear. He's like, then he starts doing this, just tugging on my shirt. He's like, "Let me see your back." I was like, "Huh?" He's like, "Let me look at your back." I was like, but he keeps tugging on my shirt. I'm like, I'll show you my back, but if you give me a second,
weirdo,
I got 3 shirts on, so it's gonna take me a minute. So show him my back, and he's like, ain't got nothing going on back here. He said, little, acne and kind of chubby. I was like, whoa, guy. I was like, listen,
I ain't got to go there.
I knew both of those already. I didn't come here for criticism. I came here for you to help me out. He's like, no, I'm just playing. I'm like, no, you're not. Those are facts, But anyway, let's get back to the I said, I think I got some psoriasis. And he says, I don't know. I think it's seborrheic dermatitis. And I looked at him.
He made that one up before we come in the room.
Because he's getting ready to prescribe Skyrizi to you.
Yeah. I looked at him. I said, you think so? He said, yeah, that's what it looks like to me. I was like, I was kind of banking on psoriasis, but, whatever. You're the expert. And he said, and he looked a little bit later. He said, you know what? He said, actually, you're all right. It is psoriasis. I was like, cool. That'll be $74.
What'd I come here for?
Yeah. He's like, we're going to call you in a couple of ointments. Or he called them creams, or he called them something weird. And I was like, okay. And he's like, you just put them on your areas a couple of times a day or 4 times a day to this one, and then don't use it more than a week. I'm like, okay, you already said that. And
well, see, 4 times a day should have been easy for you to be able to do.
Every time I eat.
Every snack time.
Mm-hmm. Snack time.
Snack time, rub my face.
If he'd have said 4 to 6, I'd have been like, oh, I know exactly what time I'm doing that. But then he said, no, we're going to call you in this other one. He said, but it's because I picked the first one up down the street over at Ken's Thrifty. He said, the other one, there, somebody's going to call you from Charlotte about payment and shipping it to you. And I was like, what? He said, it's pretty expensive. I said,
he got some buddies up there somewhere mixing up shit. Cream in the garage somewhere.
I don't, and there was a little nurse in there. And I was like, hey, man, I don't know what you're talking about, but I don't need no drugs. He was like, yeah, we're going to get you something. I said, no. I don't need no, like, cocaine or fentanyl or, heroin, nothing like that. He's like, what are you talking about? I was like, you said it's really expensive. No drug should be really expensive. This is just chemicals somebody made in a fucking lab that they mix together. It shouldn't be that expensive. He said, well, they charge a lot for that. I was like, I don't give a fuck what they charge. He's like, it's $2,000 a tube. I was like,
you got heroin in it?
I said, and how much is it going to be if I buy it from your pharmacy? He said, probably about $40-$50. I was like, yeah, tell them to give me a call. I was like, yeah, I ain't doing no damn $2,000 a tube of
some
cream.
people are missing that. And I've been thinking about this, Earl. I want to ask you a question. Now, if you, I know you're not a chemist, but like, if somebody's told you, Earl, I want you to make a cake, and here's the recipe for it. Here's the ingredients. Could you follow the recipe and mix it up and make a cake, you think?
I believe it could.
Not just a cake. What about anything else? If you had the recipe, could you make it?
I believe so.
And most people couldn't they? Wouldn't you think so?
Well, based on what I've been observing over the last few years,
well, you got a point.
I'm going to say most people couldn't.
Well, you're right. But people like us.
Now, people like us,
normally,
yeah.
you got a recipe right there, and you could follow it, and you can make.
And the ingredients are readily available.
Yeah,
you don't have to go to Indonesia
and make it and do fine.
Pretty fine, yeah.
So, and that's why they do with these drugs. Now I say they just mix up a bunch of stuff, but they got a recipe.
Yeah, okay. I think most of the one I got's Elmer's. You was talking about making a cake. What were we talking about?
Well, I was just saying, if you got a recipe, any of us, not anybody, but any of us, I mean, and most people, well, some people, if you got a recipe, you can make just about anything, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then chemists, they making all these cream and stuff, you know. So, if you got a recipe, you can make about anything. So, now, why can't they make water?
They can.
They can? Mm-hmm. They can make water?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yep. Sure can.
I didn't know that.
I did not know you could. I mean, hydrogen.
And oxygen.
Couple oxygens. You're good
So,
to go.
so they can make water?
Yeah.
Well, why are they worried about all this fresh water going away and all that stuff?
Well, because you can't make it real fast and real cheap. See, that's like they're talking about going and putting a station on the moon or Mars or up in space. They have water-making machines that pull oxygen and hydrogen out of there and combine them.
They call water-making machines? Is that the name
I
of
don't know what they call them. I'm sure they call them a hydromaximeter or something. You know.
I like water-making machine better.
Well, I do too, but you know.
It might be the water-making machine. They need to get them people that name Sky Rizzy. They need to name that thing.
Give them a better name.
Yeah.
So they can produce water out of
Thin air.
Well, but it's very expensive, you say.
Yeah, it's hard to do.
So,
Exactly how would you do it?
Well, you take this here oxygen molecule and this here hydrogen molecules.
Where are they at? All around us?
Oh, they everywhere. They absolutely.
So, in other words, how we keep them drowning then?
Because you got all this nitrogen in the air that keeps them apart.
Oh.
See, if you got to get rid of the nitrogen, and I'm sure there's 392 other molecules that them people sat around and thought Rizzi named all these molecules. But you got to get all them out of the air so that you're left with just hydrogen and oxygen, and then you got to go in there and convince the right number of oxygens to get with the right number of hydrogens to hook up, and then drop out the little tube you got there and drip down like a steel, drip down into a bottle.
Let me interrupt just a second. I just go down the creek.
Well, there you go.
Now, see that if it's very expensive and very time consuming, then that makes sense why they don't have those in poor African countries.
Correct.
But all these African princes who need me to help them get out of a bind, they could donate some of that money that they're stealing from elderly people.
And buy
what I would do is I would just tell them that Nigerian princess that won't send me $14 million, keep it. Make one of them water machines.
Yeah.
So
then get your people out of a bind. Seems like a good. Did you see that new ad for PETA the other day? It wasn't like on TV. It was like
PETA bread.
No.
Huh?
No, that would be better. Like the people who don't want you hurting animals, They had an ad and it had some sad music like that. One where they want you to adopt animals.
Adopt a dog. Listen, I bust out crying every time I see that thing.
Yeah.
They hit me in the heart. They hurt me.
I change the channel.
But I do too. I change that channel as quick as I can.
Will you remember me?
How's the movie screen working out?
Oh, yeah.
It's working out just fine. Just fine, Earl.
Yeah.
You got a popcorn machine yet?
Not yet. We got one ordered.
You got one ordered?
Yeah, it's from some Nigerian princess over there. Sending it to me.
As soon as they get caught up on making water, they're going to make you a popcorn machine.
That's right.
But the ad said that they don't want you petting animals too hard because that could be considered sexual abuse. And I'm like...
Animals?
That's what they said. And I thought, I'm going to pet my dog's ears. I'm going to pet his head. I'm going to pet his back. If he rolls over, I'll rub his belly.
That's about it.
I'm not petting his wiener. And I'm definitely not, they're like, please don't pet your animals too hard. I'm like, bitch, maybe you should focus on other shit. Like, no one knows what PETA stands for. I think it's people eating tasty animals.
That's what most people do.
But you should focus on other shit. Like, hey, there's only 6 albino gorillas left. Maybe y'all should go try to convince them to make more.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, hey,
we're running out.
Please don't pet your dog's wiener too hard. Like, bitch, ain't nobody petting your dog's wiener. And if they are, they're not welcome back in my house.
I seen one of them commercials. I don't know what kind it was, but anyway, they had a pet turtle, a little bitty turtle, about that big.
I had one of them one time.
Okay, yeah, And they had a toothbrush, and they was cleaning it with that toothbrush.
I never did brush my turtle's teeth.
I didn't know they even had teeth, first of all.
I didn't either. Maybe that's why he died. His teeth rotted out and he couldn't eat. I don't know.
I actually, on that road, let me think where we at right here. On that road right over there, you can cut through. You can go up that road right to cut through over there right in front of Central High School.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Through that neighborhood right over there. Well, I was coming back the other night through there. It wasn't quite dark yet, but it's getting dark. And I had to stop in the middle of the road because there was this turtle. He was going from this side over here over this side right here.
Why did the turtle cross the road?
Well, he didn't. I mean, he was trying, but I was thinking, I almost run over your way. So I got out. I didn't pick him up enough. I didn't want to startle him. So I patted him on the butt a little bit. Like, get on across the road.
You sexually harassed the turtle.
Well, when you said that a while ago, I thought to myself, I'm glad nobody saw me.
You sexually harassed the
I
turtle.
hope people wasn't looking out their window seeing me pushing that little turtle on his butt, trying to get him across the road.
Why is that guy touching that turtle's butt?
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
Yeah.
I said, I hope nobody saw me.
If you pull a turtle out of its shell, is it basically like that Flubber movie with Robin Williams?
I didn't see no Flubber movie, so I can't.
Is it basically like just Jello that's not in a bowl anymore, just falling around everywhere and shit?
I don't know if turtles have bones.
You don't know if turtle has bones.
Inside the shell, do they have bones like a backbone and hips? And I don't know.
I thought
never really thought about it.
Well, see, we hit the hard-hitting questions here.
Yeah, we are digging deep now.
Also, they had another one of those commercials where they wanted you to adopt the animals instead of buying them. And, like, it was showing, like, this little sickly dog and, like, this cat that nobody could pet because it was too aggressive. And then it was, like, a turtle and some type of lizard. And then it was, like, one of those little monkeys. And I'm like, a couple things.
They want you to adopt it.
Yeah. You could just put a turtle and a lizard outside. They've been known to figure it out. Dog and a cat, kind of the same way. But you don't want to overpopulate them, or you don't want them to be near you if you don't want them near you. So I could see you adopting a dog like I did, or adopting a cat like Josh did twice. Three times, I think.
Maybe 4.
But we ain't been over lately, so we don't know.
But they had that little monkey, and I was like, I don't think you're supposed to have these as pets. And then I thought, anybody who has a pet monkey, they're doing crimes.
Well, yeah. They teaching that pet monkey
stuff. It's either illegal stuff or immoral stuff. One of the two.
Yeah.
Yes. And either way, they could be arrested for it, and should probably already have been arrested for it.
I thought monkeys, ain't they the one that get a bunch of...
Yeah.
And throw it at you?
Yeah.
I won't know that.
No.
Just imagine that. You're trying to house train your monkey.
Yeah.
And it's pooping in the floor still.
Pooping in his hand, throwing it at you.
Well, no, he's pooping on the floor. But then, like a dog, when you train it, hey, you don't poop in the house. After a little bit, you can train it. Hey, I don't poop in the house. I go outside. Just imagine having another issue of trying to tell your monkey, hey, Ezekiel, you don't poop in the house.
Ezekiel.
But
he rides a bicycle.
And then him saying, and not only did he poop in the house, now he has digits. Now he's picked it up and he's
threatening you.
And they're like, Ezekiel, don't
do it.
And he just, he don't. And then you look away and he throws it. No. Not only do you have to train him not to poop in the house, you have to train him, hey, we don't throw our poop. How tough is this going to be?
It sounds like a lot of work, don't it?
And adopting a dog, it cost me, just for the adoption, the vet after the fact was much more expensive, but adopting a dog cost me about $100. So you can adopt a cat or a dog anywhere from about $25 free, up to about a couple $100. How much did it cost to adopt Ezekiel? $5, $7, $8, $1,000? Like, you had to. He's exotic.
And did they tell you that before you adopted him, he might throw poop at you?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, what?
No, they told you just like they tell you with it. Now, hey, you have to be patient with him because he's going to poop in the house. He doesn't know no better. And then you got him home, and he started threatening you. And then you called wherever you got him. You're like, hey, he pooped in the house. They're like, yeah, we told you he was going to do that. But, yep, I got you. Problem is now he's throwing it.
At me.
So how do we get him to quit doing that? And they're like,
that's going to be tough.
He's a monkey. So
what'd you expect? I mean,
have you not watched any TV about monkeys or something? Like,
sir, does he smile when he throws it at you?
Yeah. No, as a matter of fact, he throws it and then runs off and hides. And I had to take 4 half days from work just to find his little ass because he got in the top of a closet. He hid in a shoe one time. I'm going to have to bring him back. They're like, we don't take monkeys.
No, we have a no return policy.
Yeah. I got him from you, but you don't take him? He's like, we found him. Like, well, Ezekiel's going to have to come back. They're like, who's Ezekiel? His name's Randall.
And he ain't come back here.
Well, that's the problem. You've been calling him by the wrong name.
Yeah, no wonder he's not responding to you. You need to call him Randall. And that buys him another 2 months. 2 months later, they're like, hey, Randall's still throwing poop. And they're like, sir,
who?
We're out of business. We had a damn monkey.
We got rid of all of our animals and closed down.
Yeah, we shouldn't even had him. Like, we're just thankful you got him now because now it's a you problem, not a us problem.
And be careful, he throws poop at you.
Yeah. I tried to go to a trampoline park the last week when I was in Florida. Like one of the indoor places where they got a bunch of trampolines,
Where you can jump and dunk basketballs and stuff.
Yeah,
and stuff
that's
like
why
that.
I wanted to go. Because, I got close to being able to dunk, I could dunk like a tennis ball, but I could never dunk a basketball, which is kind of sad because I'm pretty tall. But I'm also pretty fat. So it kind of equaled. I deduced why I couldn't do it.
Well, if you could get a tennis ball and your size, that's pretty good right there. Because you got to understand first of all, you got to get how much weight you got.
Yeah.
Earl, this is gonna be a
Is
one of
this
them
science?
physical problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be science, and we don't do science good. So you fill in when you got to wait, and you got to get that weight up so high, so the rest of you can reach over and put that tennis ball in.
Yeah.
All right. So you got to figure out how high the basket is, how around that tennis ball is, how big you are, and how far you got to get off the ground.
So we have to figure out how much force I need to be able to produce to get my fat ass in the air
There you go.
high enough to dunk that ball.
Thought that's what Earl's going
You
to say.
see, that's half of the equation of flying.
Hold up, Earl.
Yeah.
You think he's going to be able to fly?
Well, if you overcome 2 obstacles, anything can fly.
Well, one of them going to be weight, ain't it?
That's right.
Well, that ain't going to work.
You got to have more lift than you got weight,
I don't have that.
and you got to have more momentum than you got drag.
I definitely don't have that.
Well, see, that's why you can't fly.
Yeah, I'd
You
be
see, it's
I'd be
all
dragging ass every morning when I get up. I'm
If
like,
you kind of
my
look
ball.
at these things from that scientific point of view, you can figure out, well, I can't fly because I don't have enough.
Yeah.
But he does have enough drag. Give drag your ass, right?
Yeah.
And what else? What else does he need? Force.
He needs enough force to overcome the gravity.
He got to force himself to get out of the bed. So that's 2 things he got already. What else he going to need?
He got to have enough momentum.
Now, that might be the problem.
Now we're falling off.
There you go. You
Yeah,
see,
and
it's a convoluted equation.
Yeah.
It's hard to overcome.
And I probably also need a certain amount of hope, but that kind of went out the window when I started taking rizokisimazizabam, and I thought about killing myself. So
Hope was gone after
they
that.
wouldn't let me come. They let me come in, but they were like, "Hey, where's your child?" I was like, "I ain't got one of them. I got a little monkey named
A
Ezekiel."
little monkey out in the car, throw poop at your
Careful.
ass.
But
Throw shit at you.
but I was just hoping to bounce around for a little bit, and they were like, "You too big." And I was like,
We don't have car springs on our trampoline.
"Well, how much? What's the weight limit?" And they were like, 250, and I was like, "I am too big." I was like, "But I went right when they opened, so there wasn't nobody there."
So nobody could have got hurt.
No, I was like, but now that's a good point. I was like, hey, do you mind if I just kind of bounce around for a few just so I can get a feel? I'm not gonna stay long. Just nobody's here, and they were like, no, we can't. It's a liability thing. You have to sign waivers and you got to wear socks. And I was like, well, I don't wear socks. I was like, I could wear my dude shoes or go barefoot, and they're like, I was like, please, and they were like,
Please,
nah,
here's
dog.
$20.
Like
Please.
if you get down to the weight limit, you can come in here all you want to. You will have to wear socks. So I was like, whatever, dude. And then I left, went and cried in my car for a little bit, and then I went to my next appointment.
Oh, I thought he went to poop.
No.
I did what'd you tell him? Well,
I prepped. I did that before I went to the trampoline park. I was like, maybe they're going to let me do this.
You thought you might get under that 250 limit?
And I don't want to have to poop. So,
especially bouncing around like that.
Yeah. That was a good point you made, though, that no one could have got hurt, because some of the trampolines in there are like, you got the ones all over the floor, and then you got the ones like that you can run and do the basketball with, or you can jump off of something into a foam pit. But some of the things are on an angle, like on the wall. Like, so they're probably at like a 45 maybe. So you could bounce off of a flat one onto that one and shoot yourself across to another one.
You zigzag.
Well, really, what I was thinking about, if there was some children in there and you bounced on one, you allowed to put one through the ceiling.
That's what I was gonna say. Is if there was a child in there and I caught him with that double bounce,
oh yeah,
I'd shoot his ass to heaven, dude. He would no longer. They would make T-shirts about him and be like, "R.I.P. Daniel." But I didn't get to go there. And then what else?
A shooting star, Daniel.
I got in an argument with this elderly
monkey.
No, he was like if I had to guess, he was from
Nigeria.
No, Indian, because he parked very, very close to my driver door, and
you couldn't squeeze in.
I couldn't squeeze out, so I had to put the window down and say, "Hey, man," because I parked pretty damn good 78% of the time. I'd parked good that day. He parked extremely close to my door, and he was trying to get out, and he was, smaller and wispy, so he could do it.
Wispy.
And but I said, "Hey, man, can I get you to move your car over just a little bit so I could get out? I'm not going to be able to do what you just did." I thought that was a pretty friendly way of saying it. And what? And I was like, and I explained again. I was like, "I'm bigger. I'm not going to be able to." He said, "You get out." I was like, No. I know, but I need you to help me out here. Can you just move it? And then he kind of went back and forth with me, and I was like, are you a fan of the Police? And he said, "Call the police." I said, No. The band, the Police. Sting, Roxanne, all the other ones in there.
Roxanne.
And he said, "Yeah, oh." And then he started lightening up, and I was like, "Cool. You know that song I got? Don't park so close to me." Yeah, because I'm fat, real fat, and I need to open this door fully. And he was like, and then he started singing the real song, and then he moved his car, and everything was fine. We had lunch together.
There you go.